Hello, you're welcome. It's Henry, the computer guy. So today we are actually going to talk about three things. That is the OSI model, the TCP/IP, and we shall also talk about what we call the encapsulation. But before we begin this, I would like to take a chance to thank you for subscribing to my channel, and those who haven't subscribed, encourage others also do subscribe. Okay, in the meantime, let's begin. So I'm actually going to begin with what we call the OSI model. The OSI model specifically is that model that guides or helps computer systems how to communicate over a network, and specifically has 7 layers in it. So the 7 layers are specifically the application layer, the presentation layer, the presentation layer. We have the session layer. So we have what we call the transport layer. We have what we call the network layer. Are we together? We have the data link layer. The data link layer, and lastly, we have what we call the physical layer. So before we explain both of them, we are going to give the layers in each of the OSI model and the TCP/IP model. So in the TCP/IP, we have the application layer. Then this one is narrowed down. All these ones are combined and narrowed down to the application layer in the TCP/IP. Then come what we call the transport layer. We have what we call the internet layer. Then we have what we call the network access layer. But under the network access layer, it is again divided into 2, whereby we have what we call the data link layer and the physical layer. The data link layer and the physical layer. So that's why, for example, you can make this one in form of a table. I'm trying to understand it well. Have it here. So we are going to narrow this one down. So we have the transport layer here again. So when we come and do this one, it comes as this. So the transport will take us as that one, the network layer will come as that one, then this one. This is what we call that. So remember here we have 2 layers. So these 2 layers are combined with what we call the network access layer in the transmission control protocol, and it is called as the network access layer. But later it was divided into the data link layer and the physical layer. So specifically, the OSI layer, the OSI model has 7 layers, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. But at times some people call it what? 5, because even these ones are divided into what? Into 2. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and what? And 5. So at times people say there are 4 layers, and the others say that there are 5 layers. So now, when you're having a computer and you want to send a message, you take that scenario. For example, you want to send a message to someone. You want to send a message to someone, let's say we have device A, and we have also device B. Actually, you want to send a message from this to this one. How does the OSI model do? So remember we said that it guides computer systems on the network, how to communicate. Now, the 7th layer is what we call the application layer and the presentation layer. This is the 6th, so we have 7. This is 6. Then this is 5, this is 4, this is 3, this is 2, and lastly we have the physical layer, which is physical, which is number 1. So they start from this side going down. That's how our message is going to travel from the sender, let's say device A, to the receiver, which is device B. Now, I'll show you that we have all of them here. This is the A. I'm just going to use the initials. Then we have the P, we have the S, we have the T, we have the N, we have the B, and we have the P. Are we together? So we have the layers here, and we also have them this side as those layers. Let me use the initials as A, we have P, we have S, we have T, we have N, and we have D, then we have the P. Now, we have our message from device A. So you want to send a message from device A. Remember, for these devices to communicate, they have to discover each other. And specifically, they will be using what we call the IP. So, OSI model in full is what we call the Open System Interconnect. Then the TCP IP stroke, the TCP stroke IP is the transmission control protocol stroke internet protocol, whereby this is what we call a protocol suite. It has more than one protocol as combined as one. So we have the TCP, IP, and the IP. So that means that they are bundled together to form one protocol. Now, let's come back this side here. We're still talking about the OSI model. We have our message here we want to send to device A. But how does it travel from device A to device B? This is how it's going to travel. At the application layer, our message is going to be as data. The way we have sent it. It is going to be as data at the application layer. Then when the message travels to the presentation layer, it is going to become, again, it will be the same as data. Are we together? So now, when it travels to the session layer, again, it is going to be represented as data. Now, when it travels to the transport layer, this transport layer is going to add what we call a header to that data. So this is the data, then it is going to add a header to that data. Remember, this is the data we have them, it has the data. So the whole of it becomes what we call a segment. So this is now termed as a segment. Then, when the transport layer sends this data to the network layer, it is also going to see it as data, the whole of it. Then it will add what we call a header again. Then it sees it is going to become as data, and it will add the header there. So the whole of this one is going to become a package. Also, after this one, the network layer has to send this data to the data link layer. So now here, the data link layer is going to see it as data, but it's going to add two other items, what we call the header and what we call the trailer, which is what we call the file check sequence. The file check sequence. For example, checking the integrity of the what? Of the data. So as it comes down, they will be adding something. This one has a header, this one has a header, this one has a header, and a what? And a trailer, which checks for that integrity, specifically the file check sequence. And now, when it comes to the physical layer down here, the information is going to move as signals. So actually, this one is called a frame. The whole of it is called a frame. And now it is sent to what we call the physical layer, which is specifically responsible for the physical or wireless connection of our devices. And they are going to be moving as signals. Let's say we have the zeros and ones. So that means that we have bit strings here. Bit strings. The zeros and the ones. So now, the whole of this process that we have been passing through down here is the one we shall call the encapsulation. Are we together? So, what does encapsulation mean? The process by which a data item is being added on the information. For example, for reliability, making it reliable or more secure. Remember when we are over the internet, so there are always many hackers. So whenever the message moves from one layer to And when it moves now here, it has to go to the other side of the device B. So it will move as C, signals as we have said, the ones and zeros. So now, for the receiver B to receive this message, it is going to be coming up here. For example, we have received it as bits here. Then when it comes to what we call the data link layer, they are going to remove the header and the trailer. Are we together? So when I come here, they are going to remove this header and the trailer. Then when it goes back here on the network layer, they are also going to they have removed the trailer. Here they are going to also remove the header they put there. They are also going to remove the header they put there. Then here it moves again as data. So the whole process this side is the one we call the de-encapsulation. So this process of adding that information to the data item is what we call the encapsulation. And this process of removing the data items they added there is what we call the de-encapsulation. So in a meantime, if I'm to summarize this in a form of a table, let me add it here. If I'm to summarize this one in the form of a table, we shall be having here as we have here our encapsulation term. So now remember we say that it moves from this layer as data. So the whole of this is going to be represented as data. We are summarizing it. Now, on the transport layer, we say that this is going to add a header. So it is going to become something else that we say it becomes a segment. Then, when it comes to the network layer, again here, it is going to become a what? A packet. Then, when it comes down to these layers, it is going to come as a frame. Remember this we are having here, because it was divided, it is going to come as a frame. And lastly, it is going to move as the bits. So that's how the message travels from device A to device B, and some of the protocols that are involved in that are given some here. Let me summarize some of them which are given here. We can have some of the protocols that are already taking place there. So here we can have what we call the simple mail transfer protocol. We can have the post office protocol. We can have the file transfer protocol. We can have the, let's say, the DNS, domain name system. Then etc. We can come here on the transport layer. How is the message transported? Which protocol are they using? We can either use the TCP or we can use what we call the UDP, transmission control protocol, or the user data protocol. That is it. Then when it comes here on the network, remember this is where we always have what we call the routing. And we shall have what we call the IP. It's where we have what we call the routing. Then, down here, we shall have what we call the Ethernet. For example, is it going to be physical? We say IEEE802/3. That is going to be either the optical or the twisted pair cable. And if it is IEEE, let's say 802.11, that is going to be the Wi-Fi. So that is all about what we call the OSI model and the layers involved in that process. So the message goes on moving from one layer to another as increasing, for example, the reliability and the security being increased. This is what I really want to talk about, the OSI, the TCP, IP, the encapsulation. And in the next video, I think I'll be able to explain in details each and every layer and